moving forward.
New tonight, after a controversial arrest, Christina Schools moved graduation from the University of Delaware to a popular Wilmington site. Plus, Delaware reports its first human cases of West Nile virus this year, how you can stay safe. And the proposed decrease in Wilmington's parking violation fines appear to be stuck in neutral. Those stories and much more straight ahead tonight on DETV News. Good evening and welcome to DETV News. I'm Matt Ford. Thanks so much for being with us. Topping the news today, Delaware State Police are investigating a fatal crash down in Felton that happened Wednesday morning. The wreck happened around 7:30 a.m. at Route 12 and Sandtown Road. Troopers say a small truck driven by a 44-year-old Woodside man hit a tractor trailer that was turning in front of him. The victim's truck went under the trailer portion and the victim was pronounced dead at the scene. And this year's first human cases of West Nile virus have been discovered by the Delaware Public Health Laboratory. 3 Newcastle County men, 50 years or older, have been hospitalized due to the infection caused by the mosquito-borne illness. The Delaware Health and Social Services reported in a statement that it appears all cases were contracted locally, but that an investigation is continuing. In response, the Delaware Department of Natural Resources and Environmental Control, also known as DENREC, will increase mosquito surveillance in the vicinity of the 3 infected people's homes. West Nile virus can cause serious health problems. It is transmitted by mosquitoes, and we are right in the middle of peak period from mid-August to mid-October. Officials have offered these tips to stay safe. And a 21-year-old Delaware man, Josiah Brown, was sentenced to 7.5 years in federal prison for the carjacking of a U.S. Congresswoman's SUV in Philadelphia nearly 2 years ago. You may recall this. Representative Mary Gay Scanlon was leaving a meeting at FDR Park in South Philadelphia in December of 2021 when Brown and another person demanded her car keys. She complied, and the perpetrators drove off in her vehicle. Brown later claimed that he didn't recognize the Congresswoman and that his weapon was actually unloaded. Unbeknownst to him, the stolen SUV had a tracker leading authorities right to his Wilmington home. Brown faced federal charges of carjacking and brandishing a gun during a violent crime. Scanlon, in a letter to the judge, expressed lingering insecurity in public spaces and concerns that the incident contributed to Philadelphia's reputation as an unsafe place. Philadelphia saw a record high of over 1,300 carjackings last year alone. That's a 53% increase over 2021. The proposed decrease in Wilmington's parking violation fine, it appears to be stuck in neutral. Last October, Mayor Mike Przicki announced a proposal to reduce typical parking violations from $40 down to $25. Well, 11 months later, the only legislation City Council has even introduced is one from Councilwoman Maria Cabrera that would drop fines from $40 down to $30, and even that one hasn't been touched by the Finance and Economic Development Committee since it was introduced in May. During his budget address earlier this year, Mayor Przicki said that Wilmington would lose over $500,000 if the parking fines were reduced to $25, plus an additional $750,000 in reduced parking violations and booting fees if less workers continue to enter the city. In this year's budget, Wilmington anticipated $2.8 million from parking fines and another $3.8 million in red light revenues, which was a reduction of the $1.6 million, as the city has overestimated the amount of tickets the 10 new cameras have actually produced. Wilmington's red light camera fine is currently $110 and can jump another $30 if it isn't paid within 90 days. The Fines and Fees Task Force is planning to meet every 3 weeks until its recommendations are due to Wilmington City Council. And Christina School District has found a new home for their graduation ceremonies. Superintendent Dan Shelton said beginning this school year, all 3 high schools will have their graduations on the same day at the Chase Fieldhouse. This comes months after a controversial arrest on the University of Delaware campus this summer, seeing a Newark High School graduate violently arrested less than an hour after his graduation at the university's Bob Carpenter Center. The arrest triggered a fallout between the district and the university, beginning with Christina moving to cease holding graduations on campus, alongside advocacy for further sanctions. The Christina School Board moved to cut the commencement tie in its July meeting. The 18-year-old's charges were dropped by the State Department of Justice. And the Delaware Healthy Mother and Infant Consortium's Guaranteed Basic Income Program, it's a 2-year pilot initiative, and it's providing vulnerable pregnant women with a monthly income of $1,000 via debit cards to support healthy birth outcomes and postpartum periods. Based at the Rose Hill Community Center in Newcastle, the program offers wraparound services, including a caseworker, financial coach, and mental health and primary care services. The primary goal is to support mothers in challenging circumstances and equip them with life and financial skills for independent navigation. The program, which has shown a whopping 324% return on investment, offers a shared community among mothers and has led to improved prenatal care access and reduced birth complications. Participants highlight the importance and support and resources for mothers in need. Now, with the pilot program ending in the next year, officials say they will now seek funding to continue and expand this program. Anticipation is high for next week's public opening of a new $26 million YMCA in Middletown, located a short drive from the Middletown Main Street. The 56,000 square foot facility replaces the existing YMCA on Cass Street. DETV took a tour of the state-of-the-art facility.
Our indoor-outdoor functional training space is a first of its kind for the Delaware YMCA, with a wide range of functional training equipment, including sleds and tires, outdoor turf training space. Basketball courts are lined for basketball, volleyball, and pickleball, where we will host classes and seminars. We also have 2 outdoor basketball courts and 6 outdoor pickleball courts located at the other side of our parking lot. Here at Middletown, our fitness center is over 10,000 square feet with all state-of-the-art equipment.
A new school here in Wilmington will be named after a man who served as principal for many years. The new Maurice Pritchett Senior Academy will replace Bancroft School. It's the first school built in Wilmington in more than 50 years. Pritchett, who died in April, was principal of Bancroft School from 1975 to 2005. The $84 million school will cover several blocks in the city and is expected to open for 600 students in the fall of 2024. Now, if you happen to be on the Delaware State University campus, check out the new exhibit covering the career of longtime state legislator Herman Holloway Sr. Holloway was one of the giants serving in the state legislature for 30 years. He was the first African American to serve in Legislative Hall, elected to the State House of Representatives in 1963 and the State Senate the following year. Holloway was known as a great orator who managed to pass fair housing laws during tumultuous times. Family members were on hand Wednesday to celebrate the exhibit opening.
But it looks real nice here. We're very proud of those that came to attend today, and we're proud that this legacy will stand here at Delaware State University forever and a day. We wanted to do something to cherish the memory and remind people of Senator Herman Holloway Sr.
University historian Carlos Holmes said the collection will be displayed in the campus art gallery for 2 weeks, then it gets moved to the university's archives. Well, what was said to be one of Delaware's greatest rap events has been canned. The hip-hop celebration that was slated to make history, featuring Rick Ross and many other rap legends next weekend, is canceled. The Grand Opera House announced on their social media Wednesday that they pulled the plug on the show due to circumstances beyond their control. The event was titled Masters of the Mic Hip Hop 50 Tour, a celebration of hip hop's 50th anniversary. The lineup was to feature a blend of contemporary rappers and pioneers such as Rick Ross, 2 Chainz, Fat Joe, Big Daddy Kane, and Slick Rick. A big reason the event was sunk is likely due to the ticket prices, which were initially $170 per person. The Grand offered the same tickets for $100 on Facebook last week. For more information, you can visit thegrandwilmington.org or call 1-800-37-GRAND. And before we go this evening, Friday begins National Hispanic Heritage Month, a time to celebrate the histories, cultures, and contributions of American citizens whose ancestors came from Spain, Mexico, the Caribbean, and Central and South America. The observation started as Hispanic Heritage Week in 1968 under President Lyndon Johnson and was expanded to law in 1988. Locally, the Hispanic Heritage Festival will be held Sunday, September 17th, that's this weekend, at Bellevue State Park from noon to 5 p.m. Also on the 17th is the Festival Hispano in downtown Georgetown on North Ray Street from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Well, that's going to do it for today's edition of DETV News. Be sure to like and follow us across your favorite social media platforms. And for a look at what's happening around our great state of Delaware, head to DETVCH.com. DETV News continues next week with Lauren Wilson. We'll see you then.